In the last couple of weeks, if you've heard this track, or this track, being used in clips like
May
this,
I ask my audience to draw Tommy?
or this,
I'm dizzy.
Touching.
or this video,
What you thought? I'm a YouTuber. I gotta have it.
or this
We're
video,
talking about the Mario DDR game that came out on the GameCube in 2005.
or this video,
I didn't say it. Was it cool?
or this,
Yeah.
or this, or this video, 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 or this video. That was my music, baby. I composed and produced all of the music on Ludwig and Schlatt's Music Emporium. Hi, my name is
Philip Millman, who's the director and conductor.
Oh my god, I thought this was Ludwig at first. From behind, I literally thought it was Ludwig. Oh my god.
Philip Millman.
What's up, Philip? Thank you, Philip.
I'm about to play them now.
I like Philip.
Philip Millman, I think.
And this is how I produced all of this music and how I was able to end up in a room with two of the biggest YouTubers on the platform. The big guy Schlatt and Mr. Mogul himself, Ludwig. Back in February of this year, Ludwig posted a video talking about the problems when it comes to music and copyright infringement in videos, and basically made a call to action saying,
If you have a friend, if your dad is a composer, or if your mother is a flautist, or you're a pianist, I want an orchestra, and I want them now. If you do have somebody like that, maybe shoot me an email or just send me a DM in my Twitter.
and that is exactly what I did. I DM'd him on Twitter and basically talked to him about the experience I have, the studio access that I have, and the access to players that I have. After a couple DMs telling him that I was his entire solution to this problem, we got to work. Schlatt ended up being super interested in the project that we were doing, and so within the next few months, he got involved, and then after a bunch of boring blah 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 planning, blah 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 paperwork, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah, it was go time. I want to show you guys what it was like working with Ludwig and Schlatt, and also I'll show you some of the project sessions for all those pieces that are on Ludwig and Schlatt's Musical Emporium.
Oh, heck yeah. Yo, free food. Is this the piano?
Making your Animal Crossing.
Okay, can I try playing a song?
Yeah, here. Let me switch it to an instrument. There.
Oh Lord.
What's the other instrument? What's the Able Sisters one?
That's...
Do you like
F sharp baby.
Do you play the piano?
Him?
You.
Looks like he's like decent. Yeah, I do. I play one song halfway through. Do you play? Is that Majora's Mask?
That was actually Philip Glass.
Wow. What was that?
That was Philip Glass.
Still?
Yeah. Koyana Scotzi. Oh yes.
Philip Glass?
Mm-hmm.
What is Philip Glass?
He's like a famous composer.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he was making something up.
No.
Blood's never seen Koyana Scotzi.
Nah. Why are you laughing, Ryan?
Does it look good?
Yeah, you look great.
What we're doing right now is, in addition to the 8 classical songs that were released in copyright free, we also made 2 original songs. Totally new, one that sounds like the We Shop theme and one Animal Crossing like song. So let's take a look. Did that look good?
I'm about to play them now.
He's about to play him. Ooh.
A little something slight.
A little something.
This part, all great.
I love this. This is so.
Am I an accordion hater for no reason? What do you think about the accordion part?
I'm a chord head. I'm a
You
chord
like
head.
the accordion part?
I don't mind the accordion.
It's
I
like
think,
6 accordion options.
dude, I think the beauty of the Animal Crossing type of music is that it's so modular.
That one's my favorite.
I like
Because
it.
accordions do
I
that
like
a lot.
that.
It's in the Able Sisters too.
It always wins when it gets to this part.
Love this part.
Thought it'd be fun to show you guys one of the original tracks that I composed. This is the 25th Hour track. So I thought I'd go through and show you how I ended up composing it, where I got the sounds from, stuff like that. So as you can see, sorry that it's a little bit disorganized, but a million different variations of this.
It's confusing to look at.
This went through multiple renditions, multiple drafts, and a lot of the stuff that I've muted is actually stuff that didn't make it into the final cut. But yeah, let me just go through a lot of the tracks. So I can start with classic Animal Crossing type shakers. And basically, when you're trying to emulate that Wii sound, they used a lot of keyboards to get the audio sounds that are in all the tracks that you know and love today. And because a lot of those instruments come from keyboards, a lot of them don't really have volume adjustments. They sound pretty even across the board. That's what gives it that cheap kind of charm that it has to it. And so a lot of these tracks that you can see here, are actually recorded from my Yamaha keyboard. If any of you were wondering where the original Animal Crossing samples came from, I have a Yamaha YPG 235. And although I'm not sure if this is the exact instrument it came from, it sounds pretty close. So I played it on the keyboard that's over there, or I played it on my keyboard that's here, that's channeled from my keyboard over there, and brought it straight in the Logic. That's how I got a lot of the percussion, so you can hear these snares and kicks. Sounds super cheap. You would never hear this in a high production pop song or EDM song, but it works perfectly for any sort of Wii track. There's a lot of really corny sounding percussion that's in Animal Crossing tracks, and I don't just mean the sounds the samples, but I also mean random triangles or wood blocks, stuff like that. So that's what I've added there. It's kind of corny, but it's corny in a cute way, you know? And then another thing that's super corny, I added the lifeguard whistle in there. And with a lot of the percussion, I panned it pretty far just to partially give room for the other instruments, but also in a lot of Animal Crossing tracks, they have a lot of stereo spread. I did add some dynamic to this though, because it really needed it. Just to lead into that first kind of drop. So yeah, that's most of the percussion. One of the most important parts of this whole track is actually the bass. Sounding super corny, super plucky. It's supposed to be memey, right? Something that I recommend to a lot of composers is downloading the East-West Cloud. And that is actually where I was able to grab that bass sound from. I just found an upright bass sample that was, gave that plucky, corny sound, and then went through. As you can see, I changed the velocity minimum and maximum to be the exact same. So I found a point at which I really liked the pluckiness and left it at that. Because like I said before, a lot of these samples are from keyboards that don't have velocity inputs. You play the note and that note is what you get. And it sounds exactly the same no matter how hard or quiet you play it. So I did the exact same to these samples, even though they can offer more. Threw it on mono, and then turned all the other effects off, like reverb that come with it. And then after that, I use FabFilter compressors and EQs, so I just took out a decent amount of the high end and bumped around here just to give it that extra pluckiness sound. And just threw it into a compressor. There is a really fast attack, or a pretty fast attack on it, slow release time, just to help give it that extra plucky feel. So that's the bass. After that, it's all about adding that corny, good sound and melody. Some of the instruments that I ended up using for that are the classic musette, harmonica type sounds. So here's that. Yeah, that's the good stuff right there. Yeah, added that in just because, you know, especially if you're listening to like Able Sisters, which every streamer, Minecraft YouTuber has in their videos, the musette is one of the most like iconic instruments that's in that. So threw that in there. It's also in the beginning part as like backbeats. I wanted to use something either like a clarinet or an oboe, just some sort of woodwind instrument, just because a lot of Animal Crossing involves woodwind instrument or like really corny sounding brass. In the second half, I added this oboe. Gave it some dynamics. I know not a ton of Animal Crossing stuff has a lot of dynamic contrast, but I just think it gave more space for other instruments to build. Also have a clarinet in the background there. And as you guys can see, I don't have, like in the audio effects chain, I didn't really do much to any of these tracks. A lot of it are settings that you can adjust in the Yamaha, so I would adjust, you know, how things sounded through the Yamaha beforehand and then record it in here, and you know, it was sounding pretty close to what I wanted. So after that, I left as is. A lot of Animal Crossing melodies are based on call and response. So you have this call, which I made through like an Omnisphere patch, and then I had this really funny sounding guitar through the Yamaha that I was using, so made that respond. Here's the patch in Omnisphere that I was using. Cheese bells, makes sense. But yeah, I just messed around with the wave until it was sounding kind of like a bell, but it's basically just supposed to sound like a corny synth. I couldn't find anything on my Yamaha keyboard that I was really looking for, so I was like, you know what? I'll go in the Omnisphere and I'll make it myself. And so that's what this guy looks like. Oh, how could we forget the iconic whistles, dude? So here are the whistles that we recorded in. So basically, there's a ton of whistling in Animal Crossing tracks. I was like, you know what? Let's record it in. Here is the whistle unedited. Basically, that's what this unedited thing is. We recorded the whistles in, and then I comped and took the proper tracks out of that, and then went into Melodyne. For those of you that don't know, Melodyne is like a god for auto-tune and just audio adjusting. And so went into this guy and just made sure the pitches were really accurate and tried my best to make each whistle sound very similar to each other in length, just because I want it to sound like it's coming out of a keyboard. That's how Nintendo did it. So I used Melodyne to do that. And then the second whistle, that first note, it's really high. And because of that, recording it into the mic just took a ton of EQ at that range. So I went in and I EQ'd out, as you can see, I EQ'd out almost 15 dB to kind of allow it to fit in with everything else. Threw on some auto-tune in there, and then, yeah, so then I took out even more around that 3100 range to get the whistle that you know and love. If you guys want me to cover more tracks that I did with Ludwig and Schlatt, feel free to let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll make some other videos about it. Also, be sure to download all the audio that we made. It's on my website. You can click it right there. And if you guys want us to make more content and more original music and throw it in the public domain, then use it everywhere, because the more that we see you guys using it, the more that we know that we need to make more content. Be sure to follow any of my socials if you guys want updates. You know, I might throw something on my story when we start making, if we start making some new tracks. And if anybody's making any remixes of the songs, please DM my Instagram. I want to hear what you guys are up to. And I guess maybe I'll talk to you later, or maybe never, or we'll see. Bye!